somewhere around 1945, or you name it, but that seems all right, we began to loot the future as a strategy for survival. Some kind of ethical norm was shattered in the same way that in in early mercantile civilization, there was this horrifying moment when, even though slavery had been dead for 1,000 years, they realized that if they brought back the wholesale sale and transport of human beings, they could make millions in sugar. And it was like the heart of darkness reared up, and they went for it. And our circumstance is somewhat similar. We have embarked on a similar kind of descent into an ethical dark dimension by looting the future. And this is going on at a faster and faster rate. I mean, this current situation in the Middle East, much could be said about it, but any moral justification seems preposterous. I mean, what's happening is 8% of the world's people use 35% of the world's petroleum and are ready to blow everybody off the map to keep it that way. I mean, this is nothing more than a manifestation of junkie psychology on a mass scale. It's, we're addicted, they've got it, we're happy to pay for it, but if they won't sell it, we'll break into their house and take it, because by God, it will go into our good right arm. That's the plan. And, it's the culmination of the whole machine age metaphor. I mean, this is the golem of Metropolis. This is the robot mind run amok. This is Frankenstein. This is Brave New World. It's a world where lethal habitual activities can nevertheless not be controlled. And it's a perfect example of a culture with lockjaw of the mind. I mean, we're just going to march off the edge of a cliff, apparently. Well, so then if you win means, standing in the middle of a sea of fire with 550 million enraged Arabs looking to cut you down. It's a complete misunderstanding. And I mention it not only because it looms large in our future. I mean, I think, we're arranging the deck chairs of the Titanic sitting here talking about this. It's basically June of 1939 and everyone's planning their summer vacation in the Catskills. But it's also an example of how these institutions can't save themselves. I mean, everybody knew in 1973 that this moment would come, that policies needed to be put in place, $1 a barrel tax on oil, some minor thing. But no, it's just a mindset that is self-destructive. And, the fundamentalists are in anticipation of the end of the world and so forth and so on. There isn't going to be any end of the world. There's no easy way out like that. And you're hearing this from the prophet of 2012. All of these fantasies, all of these infantile fantasies will be acted out. So, if you want your mini apocalypse, you can have it, and we can bomb Baghdad and gas Tel Aviv and fire the oil sands and kill millions of people on both sides. And you know what? It ain't going to bring the guy from Galilee, and it ain't going to bring friendly flying saucers from Arcturus. All it's just going to bring is a deeper, bigger mess for the human race to try and clean up. Anybody who thinks that, you're going to save the world by setting it on fire is going to be sadly... It's a rare moment for the collectivity to try to anchor itself in larger visions. You know, the reason human society is haunted by messiahs and tin horn visionaries preaching on every corner and people waving little books of different colors is because there is no full development of the individual. There's this kind of arrested, prolonged adolescence, and it's created through institutions. Institutions are a demonic force in human life because they give permission for us to cease developing and to put our loyalty behind some weird creed that has been worked out, usually by a bunch of guys wearing dresses. And then they, hand it down to the rest of us. Anarchy and chaos, anarchy is always just, that's, surely not, my dear fellow. That's so awful to contemplate. But what it's coming down to is a real make-or-break revelation on what is human nature. The French cartoonist Mobius asks the question in one of his books, is man good? And he answers it sufficiently seasoned and marinated, yes. But, we're actually going to get the chance to answer this question because all barriers to the expression of our will, our vision, our dream is falling away. And, are we some kind of anti-life, sadomasochistic, suicidal contradiction? Or, can we break through the millions of years of primate programming and alpha male hierarchical dominance and so forth to actually uncover the angelic force that we glimpse within ourselves, that we glimpse with the high definition? I mean, it's really there. If there is a demon in human nature, there is surely equally an angel of equal power. So then it's just about breaking this free. And I don't think it can happen in the monkey body on the surface of this planet. Somehow there has to be an act of surrender to our own nature, and then concomitant with that, a kind of making of a peace with nature as it is.